Alright everybody, welcome back to part 2 of making the burger. So hopefully at this point when you open up your document you have at least 4 layers. Mine is a tomato, a piece of lettuce, cheese, a hungry guy, a burger, and a bun. And I want to go about the process of starting to arrange these things and get rid of the background so that one thing doesn't cover another unnecessarily. So first things first, I'm going to move the bun to the bottom temporarily, the burger on top of that. I want the lettuce on top of the burger, my tomato on top of that. I'm going to cover that with some cheese. And I want this hungry guy that's looking to eat this way at the bottom below the bun. So to do that, all you do is hover on the blue section of the layer that you want, click once with your mouse, and you can move it underneath anything that you want. And the next thing I'm going to do is continue the process of resizing some of the more important things. For example, right now, this guy is not big enough to eat this burger. So I'm going to press Command T, just like I did, and I'm going to hover over one of the corners and remember to press Shift to resize it to be as big as I want it to be, which in this case is pretty darn big. And you can see these bounding boxes are still up, which means I can't do anything else. It'll just keep yelling at me and beeping. It also means that you're previewing these pixels, which are pretty nasty. We don't want to see any of that. So what I'm going to do is press Enter. And that's going to do 2 things. One, it's going to smooth out the pixels as best as it can. But the other thing is, it's going to remove those bounding boxes, so now I can switch from layer to layer to layer to layer. And let's talk about getting rid of some of this background stuff. So there are a couple easy ways to do it. I'll move this to the front temporarily. So you see all this white stuff, and we really don't want that. We want to get rid of it so that we can see the burger right behind it, and it looks nice and tasty. So if you go to your toolbar, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the bottom are a bunch of fancy selection tools. There's a quick selection, and there's a magic wand. Both are perfectly useful for what we're doing here. But I'm going to choose my magic wand, which is the one on the bottom. You can also access this by pressing the letter W automatically. And I'm going to click in the white, and you'll see that it hovers towards what the computer believes is the edge. I'm going to undo it just so you can see. So if I'm clicking on the lettuce itself, it'll grab as much green that is similar. But I don't want that. I want the white. I want to get rid of all of this stuff. The other thing you might notice is it's close to the lettuce, but it's not perfect. If I wanted it to be a little bit tighter, I can ask for the tolerance to be a little bit lower. So right now it's being intolerant of all this little gray stuff in between because it's not perfectly white like this. So I'm going to lower it a little bit, make it maybe 20. And you can kind of play with this as you wish. So if you start and 30 doesn't look good, then you can lower it to 20 or 15 or up it to 60 if it's taking too much. And to get rid of it, if you don't want the selection, Command D will get rid of it automatically. So I'm going to click it, and I'm going to do the simplest thing. Press Delete. Beep. And you can see automatically, I'm going to do that again. Delete. Beep. You can see everything that's behind it. Now, this stuff is pretty nasty. So there's some options. I can click inside of it a little bit and press Delete again. And that's not bad. So that might be a good way to go. Or you could also try a different tool. One of the tools that I like, this does a pretty good job, is the one that we just passed up on before, your quick selection tool. And what that will do is you can kind of move it around like a brush. You hold the mouse down a little bit, and it will grab the edge of whatever it is that you're very carefully aligning it to. And so that looks pretty good. I like doing small sections at a time. It's a little bit easier that way. Command D to deselect. And I'm also going to erase all of these, hide all of these so I can see what I'm doing. No, I'm not. That's too hard to see. I'm going to paint bucket like yesterday so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Alright. Now I temporarily painted the background. You don't have to do that. Back to my lettuce, back to my quick selection, and just click and scooch it around and delete it until you're happy with it. this doesn't have to be perfect. I just want you to understand how to get rid of backgrounds so we can start layering things together. This is not exactly the piece of art that I want you stressing about. Just want you to get used to the process. Alright, so that looks pretty okay. It's not perfect, but it's really not bad. I'm going to Command D to get rid of all of this. I'm going to real quick clean that stuff up because I'm a little bit picky about that, looking icky. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, Command D one more time. And that looks pretty darn good. So I'm going to do the same process with everything else I got here. I got my cheese. Command T. Excuse me, wrong layer. Oops. Command T. Shift to resize. Enter to stop. And this looks really easy to me, so I'm going to grab my magic wand tool. I think that should do a great job. And delete. And that's working pretty well. I can also use my eraser for things I don't want, and that works just like a paintbrush. So my eraser is just above your paint bucket. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 down. And I'm going to make sure I can see what I'm doing here. Just gonna... Why isn't it working? Alright, well, for whatever reason that wasn't erasing, but I can also use my marquee tool just like we did for the pizza. Choose the stuff I want to get rid of and press delete. That's another way around that. There's always a way around things. Boop. Alright, so now I got my cheese. It looks alright. And I'm going to move on. And for the time being, I'm going to skip to the burger so that you can see the good stuff sooner. So this is another review. You can use your magic wand. You can use a quick selection. Whatever you wish. Choose one. Get rid of the white. And delete. I'm going to assume for the time being, to make this demonstration a little shorter, that you get the point. Alright, Command D. So, let's get these things together. I want my burger under the cheese. And you might remember for resizing, we just used Edit, Free Transform, or Control T. And that worked great for moving things around or resizing it if I wanted a really big burger. But if I wanted my cheese to look like it's in perspective, now we're going to get a little weird with it. Command T. And I'm going to shrink this thing down. Like that. Which is almost the look I'm going for. But I want more than that. I want even more detail. I want even more perspective. So I'm going to right click. And all these options are going to pop up. Now you could do perspective. You could do warp. But I'm going to recommend skew for this. It's probably the easiest. And what skew will allow you to do is create a tilt. And sometimes you have to do an action twice, so that's a little bit of a weird perspective, but it's closer. I'm going to press enter and edit free transform one more time so that I can go weep and get that cheese right in the burger. Is that cool or what? Funk. And we are getting closer now to the process of making this guy eat this delicious burger. Alright. Last but not least, I'm going to scooch ahead to the bun and then allow you guys to play. So my bun is not great here. I don't like the one that I chose, but it is fine for this presentation. I get rid of all the background. That's first. But you might be sensing the problem that's coming up here. We have a burger bun that is closed. How am I going to get a burger in between those two pieces of bread? Well, I'm going to introduce you to one more tool. Third from the bottom is a lasso tool. The original lasso tool will allow you to kind of draw whatever you want, which if you have a really steady hand, maybe you could do. Worked out okay for me. But the other option is your polygonal, which will give you harsh lines that you could, if you use them small enough, kind of make it look like it's soft, if that's something that you're willing to spend the time on. That's another option. Or what I like for this kind of thing, since there is a little shadow, is your magnetic. This line is fairly easy to grab because you can see it's dark. Here where the values kind of blur, you'll have to click a couple times. So let's start it. I'm going to click in the negative space over here and just keep clicking. Every couple whatever's clicked, but it'll naturally grab what the computer thinks is a good fit. So if you notice it's getting a little wonky, just go back a little bit and click. And I'm just going to grab the whole top on. I'm not being picky about the top because there's nothing there. And what I mean by that is it's only affecting the one layer at a time, so it doesn't matter that I have all of this. There's nothing to grab. And now I'm going to cut it. Edit, cut, or Command X. Forgive me, I'm on a PC right now, so it's Command X for you. We'll remove the bun and edit, paste, or Command V. We'll put it right back. Wah, 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 wah. And that is where we start getting weird with adding our burger and our bun and adjusting one bun underneath. Oops, I gotta get rid of that later. And lowering it underneath the burger so it sits on top. And putting our top bun, whoop, just like that. And if you notice that it's underneath it, that means you just gotta rearrange the layers. And that is the basics of how we get our burger in Photoshop. Don't forget to file, save as, not just as a PSD, but when you're finished for Google Classroom as a JPEG. Thanks so much.